factorial is 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the way that we're going to solve it, or the way that I'm going to solve it, of course, all of these problems can be solved any number of ways, and it really is a reflection of the way that you think. And so this is the way that I would probably solve it, is I would have a loop with the counting variable starting at 2 and incrementing until 5, and use that to multiply, use that as my multiplier. And so the first iteration of the loop, it's going to do 1 times 2. The next iteration of the loop, it's going to take that and it's going to multiply the answer by 3. Then the next iteration of the loop is going to take that result and multiply that by 4, and then finally it's going to take that result and multiply it by 5, and that should end with our factorial. And so how can we get this step of this sequence of events to happen? Well, we're going to have a for loop, so we'll say for I is equal to 2, I is less than or equal to n, which is 5, and we'll do I plus plus. And then in the body of our for loop, what we need is a counting variable, and the counting variable is going to start at 1, and after the first iteration of the for loop, it's going to be equal to the result of this calculation, which involves itself. And then the next iteration of the loop, it's going to contain the result of this calculation, which involves itself. Right? So the way that's going to go is we'll have a fact variable, set it equal to 1, and in here we could say fact is equal to fact times I. Right? So how will this play out? Well, the first iteration of the loop, fact is going to equal to 1, I is going to equal to 0. So fact is equal to 1. It iterates through the loop, and 1 times I, which is 2, and that is saved in fact. So it's no longer going to be equal to 1, it's going to be equal to 2. Now the next iteration through, it's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, which is stored in fact. And then the next iteration of the loop, it's going to be 6 times 4, which is 24. And then the last iteration is going to be 24 times 5, which is 120. And that is our final answer for this problem here. And so of course you would want to probably test this algorithm to see that it works for different values of n. But yeah, that's the way to go.